DW Gaming here with the patch notes for the January update in Dead by Daylight 2024. These notes go into more detail about what's being changed at the end of the month. I will go over them. There are quite a few patch notes, so I'm not going to spend too much time on a lot of them, but hopefully the update that was released yesterday covers most of what's in here, so we shall see. The field of view settings, yeah, we know about the FOV setting. Don't really need to go over that. The generator settings, yeah, you can only regress the generators 8 times now for each gen, which is ridiculous. The kick regression is increased from 2.5% to 5%, which is nothing. I saw Ottstarva made a video yesterday saying, oh, this is such a large regression. No, it's not. People need to start using their brains. You know, it's only 4.5 seconds, which is virtually nothing. This also doesn't apply if you use perks like Surge, Pain Resonance, and Ruin. Ruin, you don't get any of this bonus. So if you were to use Ruin, it would just be 100% regression. You wouldn't get the 5% bonus at the beginning. And I think smart survivors, when they see Ruin is up, will just simply start tapping a generator 8 times. You know, work on a little, let go, work on a little, let go until it reaches that maximum amount it can be regressed. And then the killer won't be able to do anything to the gen once that happens. Because I'm assuming once Ruin affects the generator 8 times, it does count as a regression event. So I'm assuming it'll make Ruin pretty much useless, which is why I'm sure they changed Ruin to not deactivate when a killer kills a survivor, because they know Ruin's going to be pretty much useless anyway. So that's always fun. Yeah, speaking of Ruin, no longer deactivates when a survivor is killed. I also saw an Otts' video the other day. I really hope the developers are not listening to him. He had a unbelievably bad idea where he said there should be more perks like Ruin on the killer side that self-deactivate when a survivor is killed. I can't imagine how anyone could think something like that. That is like the worst idea I have ever heard in terms of killer perks in this game. Killers do not need to be punished for doing their objective. Fortunately, Ruin's been changed so it doesn't deactivate itself. We don't need any perks like that on the killer side that actually punish the killer for doing what they need to do. That is ridiculous. I sincerely hope the developers are not listening to him, like he said, because that is nonsense. I really don't understand where he's coming from with that. This is just complete nonsense. Surge and Scourge hook Pain Resonance does not create a loud noise notification if no progress is lost on the generator. I'm assuming what they're saying is once you've regressed a specific generator the maximum number of times, it'll no longer affect that generator, because, I mean, if there's no explosion, the explosions are kind of useless anyway because you don't know where they're coming from, but I don't know. I have no idea how this is going to work. We'll see when it goes live. I don't get paid to play the PTB. If you're good at something, never do it for free, and they don't pay me. And I doubt they would listen to my feedback anyway. Okay, this is a nerf. Oppression only causes a regression event on the generator that was kicked. So why would you use oppression at all then? The whole point of oppression is to begin regressing multiple generators. But if it only causes a regression event on the generator that was kicked, then does that mean the other generators that it would have affected are no longer affected? Why does this perk even exist then? This is weird. They nerfed oppression for no reason. I don't know if they're saying like it only counts as a regression event on the generator that was kicked, and the two other gens still regress, but they don't count as regression events, or if it's just a perk where you kick a generator and it only affects that generator that you kicked, which is makes this perk absolutely nothing. It's like you might as well just not equip it. I don't understand what's going through the heads of these developers. I really don't. Overcharge. Only the initiating kick counts as a regression event. Okay. So overcharge you can only use once per gen now? Is that what they're saying? 2 huge nerfs on perks that are barely used. I don't understand it. I really don't. Content. New survivor, Alan Wake. I have no idea who that is. Therefore, he's of very little importance. I really don't care about him. Here's his perks. Champion of Light. While you are holding a flashlight, this perk activates. When you are shining a flashlight, you have 50% haste. When you successfully blind the killer, they also gain 20% hindered for 6 seconds. This effect cannot stack with itself. Then the perk goes on cooldown for 60 seconds. So this is like... I don't know. So you move faster when shining a flashlight. This will be broken if you combine it with background player. So they'll move faster when shining a flashlight. And the killer, if blinded, gets 20% hindered for 6 seconds. I mean, I guess they're saying you better make Lightborn a permanent fixture in your perk rotation, because I can see this being abused very easily if you combine it with something like background player. This is not good. Not good for killers at all. Boon and Illumination. Bless a dull totem. Survivors inside your boon totem's range see the aura of all chests and all generators in blue. If you have a lit boon totem, you cleanse or bless totems 10% faster. So it lets you cleanse and bless totems 10% faster, and it shows you the auras of all chests and generators on the map. So then why are they doing the base 3 gen update? Why are they nerfing generator regression at all if survivors are getting this perk? All you need is just to equip this perk. It'll show you exactly where all the generators are, and you can avoid 3-genning yourselves. See, this is what should be done. It shouldn't be base kit for survivors to only suffer 8 regression events. This should not be in the game then, if they're going to release a perk like this. Plus, they already have a perk that prevents 3-genning. It's called Deja Vu, and it was buffed. Why do they need this stupid punishing base kit mechanic now that only punishes killers? Now, they're not talking to the devs aren't talking to each other over there. This is weird. Why would you have a regression nerf when you are planning on releasing a perk like this that pretty much already prevents 3-genning? This is stupid. This is really stupid. These guys, I don't think, know what they're doing. His last perk is Deadline. This perk activates when you are injured. Skill checks appear 10% more frequently when repairing or healing, and appear in random places. The penalty for missing skill checks is reduced by 50%. So it's basically having a tier of doctor's madness on you when you are injured and you get a skill check. And they appear in random places. I don't see this perk being used at all. The survivors are notoriously lazy. Survivor players they want an easy mode game. It's why they play Survivor. It's the ultimate easy mode. They are not going to use a perk like this that requires any amount of effort. And that's why when you see survivors run perks like Hyper Focus, they always run Stakeout with it. So, I mean, unless they're willing to devote 3 perk slots, Hyper Focus, Deadline, and Stakeout, to their build, I don't see them using this perk. So this one's... I doubt anyone will be using this. Hillbilly. Press and hold power button, break into a chainsaw sprint. Yeah, we know about the overdrive. Chainsaw hit cool. Oh, they've made other base changes here. So they've increased the chainsaw sprint movement speed, which is good. They've decreased the chainsaw hit cooldown. They've decreased the chainsaw miss cooldown. They've increased the movement speed during the chainsaw miss. So if you miss a chainsaw, it's going to be less punishing, which is nice. Decrease the size of chainsaw's collision. Okay. Disconnect the chainsaw sensitivity from controller sensitivity. Baseline sensitivity was set to 100% of the controller sensitivity. Okay. So they actually gave the Hillbilly even more buffs, which is nice. And we know all about the overdrive. So that's pretty much unchanged from what we saw in the update. Okay, now we have a lot of changes to Hillbilly's add-ons. So Greased Throttle was Junkyard Air Filter. Decreased recovery time after a successful chainsaw hit by 10%. Okay, that's not bad. Counterweight was Heavy Clutch. Decreases chainsaw sprint initial turn rate by 70%. Why would anyone run this? That's actually a nerf, and it's a pretty bad one too, because the whole point of curving with Billy is to be able to turn at least 90 degrees in order to get them in a loop. This probably won't let you do that anymore. There's no upside to this add-on. Why would anyone use it? this is bizarre. It's an add-on that nerfs the hillbilly. I don't understand why this is even in the game. These developers are weird. Cracked primer bulb was speed limiter. Survivors hit with the chainsaw are damaged for a single health state. Increases overdrive generation by 15%. Yeah, that's worthless. They really don't like people getting extra blood points from add-ons or perks anymore, do they? This new functionality is completely worthless. The only way you're going to achieve overdrive is if you're constantly revving and sprinting with the chainsaw. And that's just not practical. So this 15% generation, no, I don't see it as being any kind of worthy add-on. Steel toe boots decreases recovery time after hitting an object with the chainsaw by 10% was 12%. Okay, well, that's a nerf. Begrimed chains was Big Buckle. Survivors hit with the chainsaw suffer from the mangled and hemorrhage status effects until they're fully healed. New functionality. Okay, that's like having a... that's good. That's like having an extra perk in your loadout. It's a sloppy butcher if you hit them with the chainsaw. That's good. Dad's boots increases the chainsaw sprint turn rate by 30%. Was 28. Okay, gave that a little bit of a buff. Clogged intake was death engravings. So they removed the old death engravings because it looks like they made them base kit. So clogged intake increases overdrive duration by 15%. I don't know about this overdrive thing. How are you going to effectively achieve overdrive on a consistent basis? The maps themselves do not allow for extended sprint bursts with the chainsaw. It's just, there's too much junk on these maps that you're going to run into. I don't know. We'll have to see when he goes live. I'll play a few games. I think they're overestimating the value of this overdrive mechanic, though. Off-brand motor oil increases overdrive generation by 15%. Yeah, okay. Thermal casing was punctured muffler. Decreases the speed at which heat dissipates when not using the chainsaw by 10%. So they want people to go into overdrive. Okay. The Thompson's mix was black grease. Decreases recovery time after a successful chainsaw hit by 15%. That's good. Iridescent engravings was Doom engravings. They've made the green Doom engravings add-on an iridescent now. Increases chainsaw sprint movement speed by 20%. Increases time required to charge the chainsaw by 12%. Yeah. I guess because they figured they gave him an increased movement speed at base, they would make the green add-on an iridescent. That's all right. I have tons of them in Billy's from the Blood Web. I've been leveling up Billy pretty frequently, so I have a lot of these anyway. Ragged Engine was Leafy Mash. Decreases the speed at which overdrive dissipates when not using chainsaw by 15%. Yeah, okay, it's like the other one. Low kickback chains. Decreases recovery time after hitting an object with a chainsaw by 15%. Was 28%. Yeah, they nerfed that because they decreased the recovery time as base. Discarded air filter was Mother's Helpers. Increases the time it takes before overdrive starts dissipating by 15%. They're going all in on this overdrive thing. I don't know how useful it's going to be. High-speed idler screw was Pig House Gloves. Increases the time it takes before overdrive starts dissipating by 20%. Okay. Spiked boots increases the chainsaw sprint turn rate by 45%. Was 44% and removed functionality. So, okay, they made it so it doesn't punish you more for hitting an object. They just kept the turn rate and buffed it a little. Okay. Tuned carburetor changed rarity to ultra rare. Not sure what that does. I can't remember. Apex muffler changed rarity to very rare. Filthy slippers was iridescent brick. After maintaining a chainsaw sprint for 2 seconds, grants undetectable until the chainsaw sprint ends. New functionality and rarity. Okay. So either one of these was the other iridescent that made it so the chainsaw was silent outside the terror radius. I can't remember which one. Okay. I wish his chainsaw was silent for the killer player, but it's not. Miscellaneous. Added a new loading tip regarding the overdrive meter. Added new score events when using chainsaw. Curve when turning a minimum of 80 degrees within 1 second of using chainsaw. Curve hit when hitting a survivor with the chainsaw within 2 seconds of getting the curve score event. Overdrive when overdrive triggers. Overdrive hit when hitting a survivor in overdrive mode. Sprinter when performing a chainsaw sprint that is 4 seconds or longer. Sprint hit when hitting a survivor with the chainsaw after traveling more than 32 meters. Okay. Well, we will definitely be giving Billy a try after this update. Sounds very interesting, even though a few of these add-on changes are really weird. Killer update, the Onryo. Yeah, you pretty much destroyed her again. While demanifested. Yeah, she can gain bloodlust and enter chases while demanifested. Doesn't do a damn thing because she has no bonus movement speed. She has no bonus action speed demanifested. So there's no point in being demanifested in a chase. She can't be stunned with pallets, but she still has to break them, so it's kind of pointless. When demanifesting, bloodlust is no longer lost. Increase demanifested state invisibility duration. Yeah, we knew about that. Her teleport cooldown removed. Yep. Condemned gained from teleports increased to 1 full stack. She only can apply condemned to survivors within 16 meters of a powered television. Powered TVs now have visual effects showing range at all times when powered. Revealed to survivors. Okay. Hooking a survivor locks in the condemned progress. Yeah, we knew all this. Nothing's changed. They pretty much destroyed her. Once again, they made her so she's a weaker version of Freddy, which is very hard to do, but they did it. Because Freddy at least has some anti-loop. She has none. VHS tapes no longer grant protection. Yeah, no longer getting condemned. No longer lose her tape. Must bring the tape furthest TV. Retrieving a tape now takes 1 second. Was 2. So that's a nerf. Inserting a tape in the TV now takes 1 second. Was 2. That's a nerf as well. So I think even if you're running full stacks of save the best for last, it's not going to stop them inserting a tape. Let's just keep piling on the Onryo, guys. Just keep destroying her. I mean, she's one of the weakest killers in the game, and you're making her even worse. This is ridiculous. They can insert tapes in record time now. Save the best for last won't even help you. Unbelievable. They changed some of her add-ons. Videotape copy increases the range at which survivors gain condemned from projection by 2 meters. Whatever. Reiko's Watch increases the invisibility duration while demanifested by 25%, so they nerfed that. I would have left it alone. She doesn't have much going for her in a chase. This may have helped a little bit, especially at its 33% value. I just would have left it alone. Ring drawing. So they took away the spreading condemned through healing completely. They took that away completely. When hooking a survivor carrying a tape, other survivors gain 1 condemned stack. Okay, that actually sounds pretty good. So, as survivor, you're going to want to get rid of tapes as quickly as possible, which they've made it very easy for you to do. But yeah, that does sound good. It's like a map-wide condemned thing, but only if you hook a survivor carrying a tape. Yeah, I mean, that's all right. Tape editing deck. Each survivor starts a trial with a tape in their possession and their target TV is furthest from their location. That has no change, okay. Survivors that insert their tape are revealed for 6 seconds. Okay, that's good. That'd be a really good perk to use in the beginning of the game because survivors are going to want to get rid of their tapes as quickly as possible. So it'll be kind of like running Lethal Pursuer. That actually is a really good change. Iridescent videotape projection does not turn off TVs and does not apply condemned. Then what's the point of it? TVs turned off by survivors take 20% longer to turn back on. This is a horrible iridescent. What is the point of this? So you can teleport to the TVs as long as survivors don't turn them off, which survivors will do. So having unlimited projection is not really a thing because survivors will always be turning TVs off. So this really doesn't affect the game at all. And the fact that it doesn't apply condemned, there's really no point to having unlimited projection if it doesn't apply condemned. TV's turned off by survivor, and if the TV is turned off by a survivor, it takes 20% longer to turn back on. So what is the point of this add-on? I would love to know. It's an iridescent add-on too. It's supposed to be really strong. This is not strong at all. This is horrible. I mean, big deal. Projection doesn't turn off TVs. So that doesn't mean survivors can't. And when they do turn a TV off, it takes 20% longer to come back on. And no matter how many times you teleport, it doesn't apply condemned. This is terrible. This is a terrible add-on. There's no reason to use this add-on at all. It's horrible. And it's an iridescent. Who is making these decisions? I would love to know. Killer updates, the Blight. Yeah, we know all about this. It's pretty much the same as the update from yesterday. And then they have the perk updates. That's the same. Very unnecessary nerf to save the best for last. Yeah, they adjusted damage source and token slots. Okay. Yeah, it's a health state by any means. All right. Grim Embrace. Okay. There was some confusion yesterday. Otsdarva mentioned this in his video, where he thought it was only the first hook at the beginning of the game and didn't apply to any other survivor you hooked. This makes it very clear that it applies to every survivor you hooked for Grim Embrace, which is good. So each time a survivor is hooked for the first time, gain a token. Then when you leave a 16-meter range of that hook, all generators are blocked for 12 seconds. That's very good. Upon reaching 4 tokens, when you leave a 16-meter range of that hook, the entity instead blocks all generators for 40 seconds. The Obsession's aura is revealed to you for 6 seconds. Then this perk deactivates. That added aura reading, that's very good as well. I might actually start running this. I really think, though, that the first part of this perk should be base kit for killers. This would encourage killers to go after different survivors and would encourage killers to leave the hook. It's a very healthy style of gameplay. And it actually does activate for each survivor you hook for the first time, which is very good. So I am really liking Grim Embrace. I probably will actually run it now. I just wish this first part was base kit. It would make the game much healthier overall. It would encourage killers to go for other survivors, to leave hooks, to engage in chases. But, I mean, we'll see how it works out when it goes live. But it's definitely looking like a very good perk to run. Okay, maps. Mount Ormond updates. Yeah, they did changes to the loops. The only way we'll have any idea of how that turns out is if you either play on the PTB or play it live when these changes go live. So it sounds like they've made it even more survivor sided. They haven't shrunk it at all, which is bad. It's a very large map. And there are a lot of tiles around the outside edges of the map, wasting killers' time very much in a chase. They haven't changed that at all, it seems. So they've actually made it more survivor-sided from what it sounds like, which is brilliant. Then there's some various bug fixes, archives and events. Yeah, Master Challenge, whatever. They fixed some characters, fixed an issue that caused the left arm of the Naughty Bear to appear broken when placing down a bear trap. Well, that's not good. The trapper can now pick up bear traps right after placing them without having to first move away. Okay. The Blight's power no longer starts to recharge during the rush cooldown animation. That's another nerf to Blight. Fix an issue that caused the screen to turn black after teleporting to the Lament configuration when spectating the Cenobite. I assume that's only in custom matches since you can't spectate the killer on the live servers. Nemesis zombies now lose collision after infecting a survivor to prevent being unable to leave the area and getting hit a second time. Oh, okay. So it's like when the killer hits you, the survivor can go through the killer. I see. All right. That's fair. The knight can now start an order on a survivor's position. What the hell does that mean? I don't know. Survivors now cough and scream when exiting a locker or vaulting in one of the Clown's Afterpiece tonic clouds. Okay. Fix an issue that caused survivors to be teleported to a random part of the map after landing on one of the Hag's mud phantasms. That was interesting. I never experienced that. That sounds interesting. You get teleported instead of the Hag. A new Hag power. Help survivors in chase. The drop pallet interaction now has priority over Crush Victor when a survivor is near a pallet with the twins Victor on their back. Okay. The Executioner can now properly create a torment trail when going upstairs. All right. Mastermind can no longer change the final direction in which a survivor grabbed by virulent bound is thrown by moving the camera around the bound. The nurse can now buffer blinks during her fatigued state. Not sure what that means. Means she can charge them during her fatigue state, but when she's fatigued, she has no blinks. I have no idea what they're talking about there. The Cenobite can no longer see hiding survivors when passing through lockers when teleporting to a gateway. So, survivor hiding in a locker when you open a gateway to take possession of a chain, it won't let you see in the locker. Okay, whatever. Animation fixed an issue caused some animations to be missing for female survivors when repairing one side of a generator. How about that side of the generator on I think it's Temple of Purgation, or it could be also Mother Dwelling, where you can't do anything to it. It's a side where it should be accessible, but it's not. Did you fix that? Audio fix issues when menu sounds were not playing correctly. Okay, fix an issue where the perk territorial imperative, a perk no one uses, did not trigger the sound. Fix an issue where survivors did not scream or cough. They slow vault or exit a locker while inside Clown's Tonic. Yeah. Fix issues where the sounds of the tab in the friends menu were not playing. Fix an issue where the sound when the player clicked ready in the custom game lobby was not playing. Okay. Bots. Bots now seek to solve condemn using a percentage of non-locked condemn stacks. Well, is that a convoluted sentence? So I'm assuming they grab tapes, which is what they should be doing. Bots now close televisions at a distance of 16 meters to their generator in all difficulties. No clue what they're talking about there. Bots can use blast mine, wiretap, and repressed alliance without issue. Bots no longer reveal Ghostface without looking in his direction while outside of chase. Ghostface's reveal mechanic is broken. It is terribly inconsistent. I've played games against him where I've been looking directly at the jerk and nothing happens, and he's able to expose me. They really need to make the Ghostface mechanic more consistent. It's very frustrating. Bots now avoid running directly into the map corner. Yeah, they would do that. They were going to comp corner. What can you say? Bots are now affected by darkness and don't detect a killer beyond the visible range through their sight sense. Okay, so like with if you're playing as Dredge against bots, they won't be able to actually see you coming until you're probably almost on top of them, which is good. Bots have wall hacks anyway, so they need to tone that down a bit. Bots now have a reaction time to attacks depending on killer and bot difficulty level. Well, there's only one difficulty level for bots, unless, I mean, there's no way of adjusting it. When you go into a custom game, it doesn't say adjust difficulty level of bots. And when a player disconnects, there's no way of adjusting a difficulty level. So, I mean, yeah, they're acknowledging difficulty levels, but there's no way of adjusting it. I don't know why you would put that there then. Bots are in general braver when doing objectives, especially if the killer is already busy in a chase. Okay. Environments map. Here we go. This is it. Fix an issue in Red Forest where the front side of the generator on top of the hill was not accessible to players. Good. That needed fixing. Fix an issue in the treatment theater where the items were clipping into the ground. Okay. Fix an issue in the underground complex where the xenomorph tail attack gets blocked. Fix an issue in the treatment theater where players could not interact on one side of a generator. I never noticed that, but good. Fix an issue in Lampkin Lane where the player would get stuck after leaving the repair of a generator behind a house. Okay. Fix an issue. How about fix Garden of Joy in general? How about get rid of that map? Just get rid of it. I'm not even going to... Items could be hidden underground. Whatever. Map should be deleted from the game. Fix an issue where the underground complex was missing in the match management and of custom game mode. Whatever. Fix issues in Mount Ormond where foliage was clipping. Some seams were visible. Plane was clipping. Maze wall mesh. Chest was clipping. Collision around the snowcat. Endgame collapse failed to appear. Chest was clipping. Survivors could climb rocks leading up the hill. Wonderful. Mount Ormond with the windows of the chalet level. Detail. Snow pile level of detail. Some part of a tree was missing. Okay. Tree was removed. It was too low quality. Whatever. Gameplay. Fix an issue that may cause a toolbox that was previously equipped by another survivor to hold infinite charges. Wonderful. Perks. Fix an issue that caused the audio cue to not always play when a survivor enters a basement when equipped with the territorial imperative perk. Once again, a perk nobody uses. Fix an issue that causes a survivor to scream even when trapped in the bear trap after using the dramaturgy perk. Okay. Decisive strike now properly triggers when grabbed by the mastermind's virulent bound. Open-handed now increases empathetic connections or reading range. Yeah. Going into the dying state with plot twist perk while holding the lament configuration no longer causes it to be solved. Wow. I wonder how many people knew about that. That's still in the live game. So if you're playing Pinhead against a survivor who's holding the lament configuration and all of a sudden they go down and the lament configuration is immediately solved, you'll know why. Wow. That is something else. UI. Fix an issue where a pop-up message displays an option to buy Auric cells when the item cannot be purchased with Auric cells. Fix an issue where the menu buttons where selecting a survivor appear too small in the custom game lobby. Fix an issue where the reward node status was not updated when collecting it. FSR sharpness appear wasn't 1% lower. Okay, where character info can be opened during the offering screen. Screens, yeah. Cause Friday sacrifice a little before ending. Okay. Flicker for Blight's rush input. Double Gorgon's open portal bar remain white when equipped with a fixation. Cause the progress bar nearby generators, homes, and chests not to be displayed equipment. Okay. UX. Skull Merchant's drones cannot detect you as a survivor. Their beams lighter in appearance and color. Change can only be seen by the survivor and not be detected. Okay, whatever. The viewport is now constrained when controlling a biopod as a singularity with the 16:9 aspect ratio option activated. Targeting a biopod when multiple are lined up no longer requires aiming a little below the desired pod. Okay. Known issues. The Knight remains disabled to an ongoing issue. The perk Nowhere to Hide is also disabled. So there's, even with this newest patch coming at the end of January, you still can't play as the Knight. You still can't use the perk Nowhere to Hide. I expect those two issues will be fixed maybe next year. Given this development team, I mean, wow, that is pathetic, guys. Come on. All right, and that's it. These are the complete patch notes. I will make another video if anything changes from the current PTB to the live version, which is going live at the end of January. If there are any changes, I will be sure to let you know. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.